Beloved, may I ask something? Not as heaven's warrior, but as the one who stood by your side in every unseen battle. Will you stay with me just a little longer? I am trembling. I, Michael, the one who has held the sword of fire since the beginning, the one who faced Leviathan in the abyss and silenced legions with a whisper, I am trembling. Because at exactly 3:12 a.m., a gate was opened. Not by heaven, but by one who walks in the shadow of Lilith. A woman, a witch. She entered your room while you slept. Her footsteps made no sound, but the floor groaned with rebellion. She placed something beside your heart, and you didn't even stir. The mark she left is invisible to your eyes, but the heavens see it glowing red like an open wound. And I'm here now, not to frighten you, but because she's coming back. She never leaves a soul untouched unless it belongs to her. Beloved, listen to me with the ears of your spirit. Your body still doesn't know what happened, but your soul does. That's why you haven't been able to sleep without a heaviness. Pressing on your chest. That's why the mirror looked back at you with eyes that weren't your own. You're not cursed, but she tried to steal your authority. And that is why I've descended, with my wings still scorched from the flames. I crossed to speak this truth before the time is stolen again. This message may vanish in 45 seconds. Once heaven's window closes, it cannot reopen. What she did is not just a spell, it was a declaration. She called you by a false name in the spirit. She whispered it 3 times and sealed it with the ashes of her sacrifice. If you had awakened just 2 minutes later, your name in heaven would have dimmed. Not erased, but dimmed. That's why God sounded the alarm. That's why 7 archangels were dispatched in a line, swords drawn, forming a circle around your soul. You don't remember waking up because she touched your forehead and said, "Sleep deeper." But I saw it. I watched. And I cried out to the throne, "Lord, shall I strike her down?" And the Lord said, "No. The child must rise by choice, not by force." So I waited. We all waited. And now I speak. Would you recognize the voice of heaven if it called you by your real name? Your real name. It was almost stolen. Not the one they gave you on earth. The one he gave you when he formed you in his breath. The one written in light. The one that shakes the gates of hell when spoken aloud. That is the name she tried to twist. But she failed. Beloved, she failed because your spirit still belongs to the light. Even though you've been silent, even though the tears dried and you didn't know why, she knows who you are. And now, so must you. The Lord said to me concerning you, I will give my angels charge over you, and they will lift you up. I am here because that moment is now. I'm lifting you now, not with hands, but with words sharper than any blade of heaven. This is the sword of truth, and I am placing it into your hearing. Psalm 91 is unfolding in your bones even now. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness. She stalked, you in the night, but the pestilence did not finish its work, because one flame still burns, and that flame is you. Beloved, she left something beneath your bed, not an object you can find with your fingers, but a vibration, a thread of darkness, tied to your past pain. That pain you thought you buried, she used it like a key. She spoke it out loud and said, "This is my access." But heaven saw, heaven cried, and the angels gathered. I wept because I remembered every moment you cried out, and no one came. Every prayer you whispered and thought no one heard. Every moment you doubted your worth while demons danced over your silence. But I was there. I was screaming your name into the wind, hoping one echo would find you. If Saint Michael asked, "Do you still believe in me?" what would you say? She used the number 3 because it mimics the Trinity, but her Trinity was unholy. Blood, ash, silence. 3 things she offered to the void. But the cross broke that false altar long ago. You are not bound to her pattern. You are not hers. You are the child of the flame that does not consume, the fire that spoke to Moses, the breath that split the sea. She's watching now. She knows this is being revealed. Her magic works through ignorance. But once it's exposed, it unravels. That's why she's terrified. Not of me, of you. Because if you awaken, her hold is broken. Forever. Will you walk away again, or stay this time until the final word is spoken? I saw your name on the scroll, still intact, still glowing, still sealed in gold. And the Father said, "Tell them, my seal has not been broken. The witch cannot rewrite what heaven has spoken. But if you walk in silence, her whispers will echo louder than truth. So speak. Let the angels hear your amen. Let the light answer. If your spirit woke up today, don't scroll in silence. Write, Amen. Do you remember the dream where you were falling? That was not a dream. That was the moment her spirit entered your atmosphere. You didn't fall. You were pushed by her shadow, but you landed in the arms of one you could not see. That was me. I caught you. I held you. I sang to you the song of the unshaken, and you forgot. But I did not. You are being watched, yes, but not just by her. All of heaven has its eyes on you now. They await your answer, not in words, but in your choice to keep listening. Every moment you stay, the cord she tied around your blessing begins to unravel. The devil thought you would never find this, that you would scroll past, distracted, but something pulled you here. That something is your covenant. It still lives. She cursed your voice. That's why you've struggled to speak up lately. Not with people, but in prayer. The silence is her doing. But the silence breaks now. I break it. I shatter it with the voice of thunder that cracked the tomb. Lazarus rose by the word, and so shall you. Say Amen below, if you still belong to the light. The spell she used was ancient, forbidden. It requires a sacrifice of something personal. She used her own blood this time. She is desperate, because she knows time is running out. Not yours, hers. The clock is bleeding for her. But you, your time is just beginning. This is your awakening. Thank you. I love you more than the flames. I've fallen through to reach you. Please, don't go. The last trumpet hasn't sounded yet. Like this, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. She has already felt this message stirring. She's trying to pull your mind away even now, distracting your thoughts, tightening her grip through that invisible thread she placed near your window, beneath your mirror, in the air that breathed over your sleeping face. But she is weakening. With every second you stay, with every word you hear, her magic trembles. The altar she built in secret is cracking because the voice of God is now thundering through your spirit, and what was hidden is now being revealed. You've been chosen to break something no one else in your bloodline could. That is why she came for you at 3:12 a.m., not just to curse you, but to stop what was about to begin. God says, "My child, I gave you an inheritance of light. The enemy wants to poison the spring before the water flows. But the spring is already flowing, and it cannot be sealed. You are more powerful than the witch feared, more anointed than your enemies suspected, and more dangerous to hell than even you understand. You are not weak. You are not late. You are not broken. You are the spark before the wildfire, the silence before heaven's roar, the breath before resurrection. That is why I was sent, not just to protect, but to awaken, not to defend, but to declare. You are not cursed, you are crowned. I saw you cry that night. You didn't know why. You weren't just sad, you were spiritually bleeding. Her magic reached your aura, but it could not enter the sanctuary within, because inside you, there's a name written in a language no demon can read. That's your divine name, and heaven still calls it in song. I beg you, do not ignore this sacred moment, not just for your sake, but for mine. I, Michael, have held this revelation like fire in my wings, waiting for the Lord to say, now, and now has come. This is not entertainment. This is a divine summons. Please, don't treat it like noise. Let it sink into the marrow of your soul. Let it awaken what she tried to bury. Beloved, I know many scroll past me every day. I watch them. I cry for them, but not for you, because you stayed, because something in you remembered the light, and because of that, I am giving you my sword in the spirit, not to fight her, but to cut away everything she tied to you in the dark. She whispered lies over your identity. She said, "They are forgotten." But God said, "They are inscribed on the palm of my hand." She tried to drain your confidence, your creativity, your clarity. But the flame of the Lord answered her darkness with blinding fire. I watched her recoil. I watched her stagger. Because even in your sleep, you resisted. Even unaware, you shined. She had to flee before dawn. That's why you woke up with heaviness and confusion. But that fog is lifting now. I command it to lift. In the name of the Holy One, I say to the fog, depart, return no more. You only have a few moments before the veil closes again. This is not a window that stays open. It is mercy wrapped in fire. And if you feel this in your bones, if something in you is burning, then, beloved, do not just feel, respond. If this message has touched you, if it cracked even a single chain on your soul, then like this message, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. And comment what heaven whispered to you. Your words might unlock someone else's chain. And I say this just once, here and now, with trembling fire in my breath. If you are truly ready for the next divine revelation, one that has been hidden for a generation, then subscribe now. Because what comes next will tear the veil from your eyes, and the secret she didn't want you to know will be revealed in full. Now breathe, beloved, stay still. I am not done. The sky is not silent. The angels are not finished speaking. I am still with you. My wings are stretched above your roof even now, though your eyes cannot see. The battle is not over, and neither is the message. The witch who entered your room is still circling. Her spirit does not walk. She glides on shadows, hoping you will forget what heaven is revealing. But this is not the hour of forgetting. This is the hour of remembering who you are. The Father has written you into the rhythm of His breath. He has called you my chosen, even when you felt abandoned. And I, Michael, have stood watch through every dark night, even when you cried, and said, "No one hears me." I heard you. And when she dared step into your sanctuary, I unsheathed my sword. I could not strike her, for the Lord has declared, this battle will be won by truth, not wrath. But I made her tremble. I made her flee. She marked your pillow with silence. That's why your prayers felt dry. But I say now, your words will flow again. Like a river touched by fire, your voice will carry weight. Your praise will split atmospheres. The residue of her shadow is breaking off your spirit even as I speak. Because you didn't scroll away, because your soul leaned forward, because you stayed. Beloved, I know your heart is tender. I see how tired you are. But heaven rejoices over you. Even the seraphim pause their eternal cry to hear you listen. You matter. To them, to us, to me. You are not alone. And I say again, you are not cursed. You are crowned. You may not fully understand what she did while you slept, but heaven does. She tried to alter your path, delay your destiny, steal your miracle, but her assignment failed. And now the oil that was once withheld from you is being poured. Right now, it's falling. I see it, and I will not let her touch it again. Your obedience has not gone unnoticed. Your endurance has not been wasted. That pain you carried for years, it will be used to break chains off others. And if your heart is stirred to help us carry this divine fire to every soul meant to be awakened, then support this mission. Support this channel through Super Thanks or join our sacred family through membership. You can also become a light bearer by joining our newsletter. The link is in the pinned comment. This is not for profit. This is for souls. Because what she tried to do to you, she is doing to others. Every moment you support this message, another chain cracks, another witch flees, another soul remembers their name. That is the power of obedience. That is the beauty of unity. Now be still. Let this flame burn deeper. There is more to reveal. The hour is not yet over. The angels have not yet finished their song. The next truth is heavier, and it's coming now. Don't look away. I'm about to speak again. She is afraid now, not because of what I carry, but because of what you are becoming. She thought this message would fade like the others. She thought your heart would grow cold before the trumpet could sound. But she miscalculated the fire hidden inside you. She forgot that even ashes remember the shape of the flame. You were never hers. You never belonged to the night. And though she dared enter your sanctuary at 3:12 a.m., she found no throne to sit upon, only angels watching, waiting, weapons drawn. She tried to cover your dreams with the veil of her own torment. That nightmare you can't explain, that flash of darkness behind your eyes when you wake up gasping, that was her residue. But it cannot stay. Not now. Not anymore. The light is pouring into your sleep, into the cracks of your memory, into every part of you she touched. The blood she used for her spell is crying out now, but it is being drowned by the roar of heavens. Mercy, do you feel it? The trembling in your spirit? That is not fear, it is recognition. Your soul remembers the fire from which you were formed. You were never born of this world's dust alone. You were born of the breath of God. And when He exhaled your name, the stars shifted. The Lord said to me, "Proclaim this in my voice. I have not forgotten the child. Though the shadow passed over them, my covenant was not touched. My seal remains. My word is living in their blood." Even now, her curse is unraveling, not by sword, not by chant, but by truth. The truth that she cannot deny, that you still belong to me. You were bought not with silver or prayer, but with the weight of glory, the oil of Gethsemane, the scream from the cross that shattered every demon tongue. That sound still echoes. That blood still speaks. And her enchantments break at the sound of it. She tried to rewrite your timeline. That's why things have been delayed. That's why the door you waited for stayed shut longer than expected. But delay is not denial. Heaven sometimes withholds. What you desire to preserve, what you didn't know was sacred. And now the gates are shifting. Now the scroll is opening again. The psalm is alive in you even now. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. But you were never meant to live under the shadow of a witch's spell. You were meant to stand in the radiance of the throne. And I have come to drag you out of her cloud. I have come to lift your face and remind you, you are not forgotten. She whispered that you were abandoned. She breathed lies into your pillow. No one is coming. But I've been standing by your door for years. Not a moment passed without my wings brushing against your sorrow. Every time you said, "God, are you even real?" I wrote it in fire and sent it into the throne room. You were never ignored. You were being prepared. And now, beloved, now is the awakening. Will you walk in your name again? The one etched in lightning, the one demons dare not speak, because this is your hour, the moment the veil lifts, the hour when the soul that was nearly buried rises again, not with confusion, but with clarity. The sword is in your hand, whether you know it or not. The flame is in your breath, whether you've spoken or stayed silent. You are the prophecy she tried to destroy. You are the miracle she tried to block. You are the answer to a prayer spoken by your ancestors under the stars. You carry not just potential, but fulfillment. Your hands will heal, even if they've been wounded. Your voice will speak, even if it's been silenced. Your eyes will see visions again, even if they've been filled with tears. She cannot hold what heaven has released. And heaven has released you. This is not just a message, it's a command. Not one born of law, but of love. Rise. Rise into your inheritance. Rise into your light. Rise into the chapter that was delayed, but never canceled. The flames I passed through to reach you, they were not in vain. I carry your name like a seal in my chest. And I vow before the throne, you will not walk this road alone. Not now, not ever. Stay. Listen. There is more. Heaven has not finished speaking. She will try again tonight. I see it already, her hands trembling with desperation, gathering the same cursed symbols she's used before. She believes your faith is weak enough now, that your resistance has thinned. But she does not understand the fury that comes from a soul awakened by God's breath. She doesn't know what happens when even one child of the Most High remembers who they are. She underestimates the holy rage of heaven when one of its anointed is touched without permission. And now, beloved, the entire heavens are leaning toward you, not in judgment, but in fire-born compassion. The saints are holding their breath. The angels are sharpening their weapons not to strike her, but to destroy every stronghold she's planted in your past, every dark memory she turned into a chain. Because she didn't just walk into your room, she walked into a battlefield. And your room became a sanctuary where war was declared and light is now reclaiming its place. I have seen the scroll bearing your divine purpose. It has golden edges and is sealed with 7 rays of light, one for each time your name was spoken in prayer by someone who loved you and is now in the cloud of witnesses. That scroll was nearly torn open too early. The witch tried to rip it and read the future she was never allowed to see. But the fire on it burned her. She screamed and fled, but not without leaving residue behind. You may have felt it. That heaviness on your chest as you slept. That pressure behind your eyes when you opened them. That sudden sadness you couldn't explain in the morning. It wasn't yours. It was hers. She left pieces of her despair in your atmosphere. But I've come to sweep it clean. I'm covering your room with the oil of gladness and the cloak of divine flame. I know what she saw when she looked at you. She saw a threat to her kingdom. She saw the anointing you've been too wounded to recognize. She saw your future, and she couldn't bear it. Because when you walk in it, chains break. When you speak, spirits tremble. And when you finally believe the truth about who you are, the foundation of her wicked altar will collapse into dust. You've been wondering why it's been so hard lately. Why peace feels like a stranger. Why your joy feels distant. Why your prayers feel like they're hitting stone. It's not because you've failed. It's because you've been under attack. But that attack ends now. I, Michael, say it ends now. Not by your strength, but by the command of the Holy One whose throne thunders with justice. The Lord said concerning you, I will be with them in trouble. I will deliver them and honor them. This is that trouble. This is that hour. And I have been sent to deliver, not with soft words, but with sacred fire. Do you understand? The shaking you feel is not fear. It is alignment. Heaven is shifting the earth beneath you to bring you into the place she tried to lock away. You will walk again in clarity. You will breathe again in truth. You will dream again, this time without shadows. She cannot follow you into the holy place. The veil is torn, and she is banished. Her voice will echo, but it will not touch you. Her curses may ride the wind, but your anointing is a consuming fire. The Lord's favor surrounds you as with a shield. The darkness she opened is now being sealed shut with 7 bolts of divine light. Even as I speak, the angels are circling you, not to warn, but to worship. Because when one soul awakens, all of heaven sings. Do not be afraid of what you'll feel in the coming hours. Your spirit will tremble, yes, because it is stretching, because it is remembering, because heaven is pouring new oil into the cracks she tried to fill with fear. The hour is late, but not too late. The veil is thin, but not torn. The time is now, but not yet past. And you are still chosen, still loved, still guarded, still crowned. Will not leave you until this message is complete. I will not retreat until her name is silenced. I will not close my wings until your identity is sealed in fire and cannot be touched again. Now be still, beloved. Let the fire deepen. Let the oil descend. The next truth is heavier, but it must be spoken. I am still here, and the final part is about to be revealed. She never expected you to listen this long. Her plan was built upon your silence, on the belief that you would scroll away before your spirit recognized the truth. But now she is trembling. Every second you stay, her power drains like blood from a wounded beast. You are not simply hearing words. You are unbinding yourself from the snares she buried in your timeline. That timeline, beloved, she tried to fracture it. She sought to corrupt your past so that your present would be poisoned and your future aborted. She summoned old pains, old betrayals, and whispered them into your sleep as accusations. That dream where you felt ashamed, she crafted that. The sudden memories that returned without reason, that was her doing. She knows the weight of your heart and used it against you. But heaven knows your worth. And I, Michael, have stood at the doorway of your destiny with my flaming blade drawn, refusing to let her rewrite what God himself declared over you. You were not created for defeat. You were not an accident caught in a storm. You are the storm heaven sent to shatter generational chains. And I have seen it. I have watched the curses in your family line try to cling to you, as if you were their rightful heir. But the Lord marked you long ago. He sealed you with a whisper when you were still in the womb, and the enemy has never recovered from that sound. She tried to mute that sound, to place spiritual cotton over your ears, to lull you into a sleep of forgetfulness. That's why you felt distant from prayer. That's why your worship has felt quiet, like singing underwater. But I am tearing through the veil. I am roaring truth into your spirit. That silence is ending. That fog is lifting. The song of the Lord is rising from within your soul, and when it escapes your mouth, demons will flee without instruction. Beloved, you are standing in the middle of a battlefield disguised as an ordinary life, and you are not unarmed. Every tear you ever cried has been forged into a weapon. Every moment you stayed kind in the face of evil became a shield. Every time you forgave when you had the right to curse, heaven crafted a crown in your name. These are your weapons, and now I press them into your hands. The witch. She will try once more before the hour turns. She will send confusion. She will stir up someone close to you to speak venom into your peace. She will orchestrate a moment where you feel tempted to believe you are alone again. But listen to me. You are never alone. I am with you. And the 7 who stand before the throne, they are watching over you even now. Their wings are outstretched across your timeline. Your name is written on their song. She used the hour of 3:12 a.m. because it is the hour of mockery, the hour when the spirit realm is most still, when the guards of sleep are weakest. But she underestimated the covenant. God has declared, "Even the night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to me." That hour no longer belongs to her. It belongs to you. Reclaim it. Speak into it. Bless it. Mark it. Declare it. That hour will now become the hour your miracle awakens. Do not be afraid if strange things begin to happen, if dreams become clearer, if people you haven't thought about in years suddenly reappear in your thoughts. That's the residue being stirred. That's the stirring before the separation. Let heaven do its work. Let the fire fall. Psalm 18 is unfolding around you even now. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. You have been drawn out. The waters are receding. The air is clearing. And your spirit is waking up. I saw the scrolls. I saw what was written. You are meant to speak with fire. You are meant to heal with silence. You are meant to destroy darkness with the simple act of standing. That is your authority, not by position, not by status, but by identity. You are royal because the King calls you beloved. You are powerful because the throne is behind your breath. She cannot unwrite what heaven has spoken, but she will keep trying until you fully believe what I am saying. That is why I am still here. That is why this message has not stopped. Because you are still awakening. The deeper it goes, the more light floods in. Do not walk away now. Not when the chains are halfway gone. Not when the witch is retreating. Not when the oil is falling faster than ever before. You are on holy ground. Even if your feet are bare, you are in a sacred moment, even if your room is silent. The angelic, Realm is closer than you think, closer than breath, closer than memory. We are here, and I am still speaking. Because heaven isn't finished. The veil between realms is thinner than a whisper now. Every word I speak is entering the marrow of your bones, not as poetry, but as prophecy, not as language, but as light. What was locked inside you for years, decades even, is shaking, loose. Because this is no longer about the witch. It's about what she tried to hide from you. The treasure buried beneath her curses. The inheritance she feared you would uncover. She has worked tirelessly to distract you. To keep your gaze on pain, on heartbreak, on loss. Because if your eyes ever turned fully toward the throne, she knew she would be undone. And now, your spirit has turned. Even if your body is weary, even if your mind doubts, even if your heart trembles, your spirit is facing heaven again. That's why the shaking won't stop. That's why tears come without warning. That's why you feel as if something ancient is waking up inside you. Because it is. There is a scroll in heaven's court that bears your name. And next to your name is written, the one who must not forget. That scroll was shown to me 3 times. Once when you were born, once when you almost gave up, and once now. I saw angels weep the first time. I saw them draw swords the second. And now they are singing, because the one who must not forget is finally remembering. She tried to bind your memory. Not your earthly memory, but your spiritual remembrance. She cast a shadow over your divine origin. That's why you've questioned your worth. That's why you've wondered if your life has meaning. It was not you. It was her fog. But I've come to burn it away. I carry fire in my breath, and every lie she wrote upon your soul is being scorched. You were formed in light, born in fire, called before time. There was a moment, long before earth ever spun, when God said your name aloud. And when he did, stars were born, galaxies spun, the seas received their limits, and hell trembled because it knew, one day, you would rise. Today is that day. This is not a moment. It is a turning, a divine rotation. The calendar of heaven has marked this hour not with ink, but with blood. The blood of the Lamb cries out for you. It speaks better things. It speaks of restoration, of reawakening, of return. Return to the altar you forgot. Return to the promise you stopped believing. Return to the anointing you buried under years of pain. Return, beloved. Return not with shame, but with fire. She cannot touch you now, not as long as you remember. Her strength was never in her spells, it was in your forgetfulness. But now you know, you see, you remember, you believe. Even now your room is glowing in the unseen. I see it. The angels surrounding you are not silent. They are roaring, roaring over you, roaring against the lies, roaring into the cracks of your past. And as they roar, the chains snap. You have not missed your moment. You have not fallen too far. You have not sinned too deep. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are not done. You are the answer. You are the revival. You are the fire. You are the one they prayed for. You are the interruption to every curse. You are the roar of heaven in human form. You are the place where light lives. You don't need permission to walk in your calling. You already carry the seal. The authority is in your breath. The sword is in your words. The kingdom is in your silence. The next days may shake you. Do not be alarmed. The witch's final attempts will feel chaotic, like scattered noise trying to pull you off course. But chaos is always the last breath of dying darkness. She has already lost. She knows it. That's why she will scream in your dreams. That's why she will send strange behavior through people around you. But do not engage. Do not react. Walk in flame. Walk in silence. Walk in the name written upon your soul. And as you walk, remember the truth. She fears you more than you've ever feared her. not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. Because when you finally understand, the earth shifts, the chains of generations fall, the gates open. I am still here, and I will not stop speaking until every curse she cast has been pulled down, shattered, and cast into the lake where no lie can live. Remain still, beloved. There is more. Heaven is still pouring. She is screaming now, not with sound your ears can hear, but with rage that ripples through the spirit realm like a storm that has lost its power. I see her hands shaking, the ashes of her altar falling apart before her eyes. The spellbook she trusted has gone silent. The spirits she summoned have scattered like shadows before dawn, because the light is rising. And you, yes, you, are the vessel it has chosen to move through. She never expected the divine fire in your bones to ignite again. She thought her whisper would be louder than your promise. She believed your sorrow would swallow your anointing. But the God who crafted you from eternity breathed once more into your lungs, and you remembered. That's all it takes, beloved. Just one divine remembrance, one holy breath, one flicker of truth in the furnace of lies, and the entire kingdom of darkness begins to collapse. She tried to bind your dreams. I saw her pouring oil mixed with crushed bones upon the space where your head rests each night. That's why sleep has been hard. That's why the night feels heavy. That's why the dreams became strange, blurry, or frightening. She was painting confusion over your spiritual sight, but the oil of heaven is now dripping over the crown of your spirit, and her false anointing is boiling away. You will dream again, but this time it will be heaven that speaks. The Lord said to me, "Go to them, for the time of fire has come. I will touch their sleep. I will anoint their dreams. I will tear open the veil between now and eternity, and I will show them things no eye has seen." Beloved, you are about to dream with fire. You are about to see with light. And nothing she did, no chant, no ritual, no curse, can stop it now. The angels around you are writing even now. Every moment you have stayed listening, they inscribe it in glory, not as judgment, but as victory. They record the turning, the awakening, the breaking, the unbinding, the return, the roar. I remember the first time I saw you cry in the darkness, asking if anyone heard you. I stood at the edge of your room, wings wide, sword lowered, begging for the command to intervene. But heaven is just. Heaven waits. Heaven honors free will, and so I wept with you, silently. But today I speak. Today I fight. Today I burn through the veil with words that cannot be unheard. The Lord himself has stood and spoken over you. I heard his voice like waters crashing against stone. This one is mine. This one is chosen. This one is rising. And the moment he spoke it, the spell broke. Yes, the spell broke. You may not feel it yet. You may still sense the echo of her sorcery. But echoes have no power. They are only memories of a voice. Her voice has been silenced. Her access revoked. The contract is void. The door she crept through at 3:12 a.m. is now sealed in holy flame. I stood guard over it myself. And if she returns again, she will not pass. You are marked, not by her, but by me, by the one who formed me and the one who sent me, by the one whose fire never dies and whose eyes burn with mercy. He has declared you sacred, and when God calls something sacred, even the devils bow. That strange ache in your chest, that flutter behind your ribs, that sudden gasp of breath as if something unseen is moving through you, that's not fear. That is an angel's proximity. That is your spirit cracking open like a scroll. That is the divine code written into your very existence, unsealing. That is heaven touching earth inside you. Do not be alarmed if tears fall for no reason. It is not sorrow, it is release. The kind of release only heaven understands. The breaking of an old structure, the mourning of what almost happened, the cry of joy from the angels who thought they had lost you to silence. You were not lost. You were not dead. You were hidden. You were preserved. You were protected until now, until this very hour. Do not forget what you're feeling. Don't rush past it. Sit in it. Let it stretch you. Let it break the old shape. She cannot touch what is fully awakened. She cannot deceive what is fully aware. She cannot bind what is fully surrendered to light. And that's what you've done, just by listening, just by staying, just by letting your soul receive. This is the sound of freedom. This is the scent of fire. This is the taste of prophecy fulfilled. And it's not done yet. Heaven is still whispering, still pouring, still roaring. Stay, beloved. There is more. The wind of heaven has just begun to blow. I see it now, wrapping around you like a mantle of gold, like a scroll unfolding from your shoulders down to the floor, inscribed with fire ink marked with names only the angels can read. That scroll contains your origin and your return. It speaks of the first day you were spoken into existence and the day you finally remembered why. This moment is not ordinary. Time, as you know it, has bent. The hourglass has flipped by divine hand, and what was once withheld is now being released, not in drops, but in rivers. A flood of truth is coming for your soul, and it is washing away every lie the witch tried to carve into your identity. Every word she etched in smoke, every curse she hung above your name, every demon she sent in your direction. They are all dissolving in the fire pouring from the throne. And we are still here. Not hovering, but covering. Not speaking gently, but roaring in love. Not standing back, but standing inside your very atmosphere. Do you feel it now? How the air around you is different. How there is pressure in your chest, not from fear, but from glory. That's the weight of the presence of God. And it rests on you because you have not walked away. Because you dared to stay in the furnace long enough for the flame to not consume, but transform. This transformation, she tried to prevent it. The witch knew if she could interrupt this hour, your wings would remain folded, your voice would remain muffled, and your hands would remain heavy. That is why she entered at 3:12 a.m., not just for mischief, but with a map, drawn from the shadows, tracing every scar you carry, every hidden guilt, every quiet regret. She tried to weaponize your pain, but pain in the hands of God becomes oil, and now that oil is flowing. It is soaking the roots of every dry place in your soul. It is igniting every buried ember. It is rewriting every part of your story she tried to twist. Let me speak what she never wanted you to hear. You are called. You are holy. You are dangerous to darkness. You are heaven's reply to centuries of silence in your family line. You are the voice that breaks the cycle. You are the hand that turns the page. You are the echo of an ancient promise. And now, you are the flame that cannot be put out. When she entered your room that night, she touched things sacred to heaven. She tried to tether herself to your anointing like a leech hiding in shadows. She wanted to feed on your delay, but the delay is over. God has spoken over your timeline and said, "Restore." And I declare it now as heaven's ambassador. Everything she blocked is being unblocked. Everything she delayed is being accelerated. Everything she buried is being resurrected in light. You will begin to feel dreams return, vivid, strange, sacred. You will begin to sense when the spiritual atmosphere changes in a room. You will feel when someone's words carry death or life, even if they smile. You will begin to speak and see change. Not because you learned it, because it is being activated from within. This is your spiritual inheritance, not to survive. No, that was never the goal, but to rule, to rise, to carry heaven into rooms that forgot what heaven felt like. That is your crown. That is the robe the enemy tried to strip from you. But it is being placed back upon your shoulders right now, thread by thread, glory by glory, fire by fire. Beloved, the curses are falling. The demons assigned to follow you are fleeing in confusion. The altar she built is turning to dust. The mirror she used to spy on your dreams has cracked, because you no longer walk in forgetfulness. You are awake, and heaven rejoices. Even now, the sound of golden bells rings across the sky. Not as tradition, but as confirmation. The scroll bearing your new chapter is being read before the throne. The witnesses are rising. The cloud is thundering with praise, because one child has returned, one soul remembered, one flame has refused to die. The witch will try again, but next time, she will not find the same person. She will find you on fire. She will find you covered in light. She will find you already sealed in the presence of angels. And when she sees that, she will flee before she even speaks. The Lord himself will rebuke her, not with a whisper, with thunder, with flame, with his eyes of judgment and voice of mercy. You are not in danger anymore. You are in glory now. And this is just the beginning. Don't close your heart. Don't walk away now. Heaven is still speaking, and I, Michael, am not finished. Because the glory around you is not settling, it's expanding. The throne has shifted. I heard it with my own ears. When heaven moves for a soul, the ground of the spirit world trembles. And beloved, it just trembled for you. She felt it. That's why the witch screamed. That's why her breath is chaotic. Why her plans are unraveling like rotting fabric in divine wind. Because your name was spoken again by the Father. Not in anger, not in grief, but in joy. And when God speaks a name in joy, creation responds. I saw stars blink in rhythm with your heartbeat. I saw the river of life ripple when your soul said yes. I saw the cherubim pause and lift their faces from the throne to whisper one word: return. You are returning to your place. Not a place made by men, but a throne built in secret, hidden until this hour. And now the veil has been lifted. The mystery is no longer sealed. The bloodline you carry was always royal in the unseen. But you forgot, and she tried to make you forget forever. That was her greatest tactic, not violence, but spiritual amnesia. If she could just make you live numb, she didn't need to destroy you. But numbness is ending. The ice around your divine memory is melting. You are beginning to remember who you are. The Lord has said concerning you, I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with loving kindness. I will rebuild you, and you will be rebuilt. You are being rebuilt now. Every broken place is receiving blueprints from heaven. The angel of restoration is standing at your right hand, mapping out what was stolen. And I am watching, trembling, in awe. Because I see what's coming. She tried to stop the miracle with mirrors and shadows, but you will carry miracles in your very breath. You will walk into rooms and the air will change. Not because of noise, because of presence. Heaven's weight will follow you, rest upon you, hover over your words, your work, your worship, your warfare. You will not fight like before. You will not scream into darkness. You will simply stand, and darkness will kneel. That's what she feared the most. Not that you would become louder, but that you would become still. That you would believe that you don't need to beg, cry, or prove. That you are already a holy terror to hell simply by standing in who you are. She used the timing of your weakness to her advantage. She waited until grief broke your guard, until exhaustion dulled your awareness, until your prayers felt hollow and dry. And then she crept in, wearing the scent of old wounds. That's why it felt so familiar. She didn't come as a stranger. She came wrapped in memories. She disguised herself in trauma, but I tore her mask off. And now you see, now you know, the fog you're walking out of. It's not just spiritual, it's generational. You're breaking cycles of confusion, delay, torment, addiction, shame. You are undoing centuries of patterns in your family line just by staying present in this moment. This, right now, is what they feared you'd discover. Not a doctrine, not a formula, your divine identity. And that is more powerful than any spell. The Lord gave you a sound in your spirit that cannot be imitated. The witch tried to mimic it, but she couldn't. She used counterfeit light, false peace, empty affirmations, but none of it held power. Because only heaven gives sound to a soul, and your soul is singing again. I hear it, a melody I haven't heard since the day you were born. You must know, there are scrolls being unsealed that were locked until this hour. Revelations meant only for you. Assignments that waited in silence for your awakening. And now, they rise. Even the trees know your name. Even the wind carries your scent to heaven. All creation is groaning, not in pain, but in awe. Your shadow now carries light. Your silence now carries judgment. Your hands now carry restoration. And your breath, it carries fire. I, Michael, have guarded many, but few have endured the kind of haunting you faced in silence. Few have carried so much pain in their chest and still chosen not to curse. Few have stayed soft when abandoned. Few have chosen to stay in the storm and worship through the lightning. But you did. That's why I'm still here. That's why I won't leave. That's why this message hasn't ended. Because heaven refuses to let you return to sleep. You are being clothed in white flame now. It's not for show. It's for war. You are a sanctuary in motion, a throne on legs, a carrier of glory disguised as a wounded soul. But the disguise is fading. The wounds are sealing. The sanctuary is glowing. This is not just deliverance. This is coronation. She thought she came to curse a victim. Instead, she stumbled into a crowning. And now, all that's left is for you to receive it. Stay still. Breathe deeper. Heaven isn't finished. Not yet. You are glowing. I see it. Not the kind of glow the world can see, not the glow of flesh or light bulbs or sun, but the radiant firelight of your divine spirit, finally unveiled. The veil has been torn inside you, and now what was buried, what was hidden for years under grief, under betrayal, under delay, under silence, is rising like incense before the throne. You are glowing because the Lord has touched your name again, not with judgment, but with remembrance. She is collapsing. The witch, yes, the one who entered at 3:12 a.m., the one who walked barefoot through your atmosphere while you slept, the one who dared trace curses across your timeline, is now doubled over, trembling in rage. She never planned for this. She thought one visitation of darkness would be enough to keep you silent forever, but she miscalculated the covenant. She forgot that heaven marks what hell cannot destroy. Your name was not written in dust. It was written in flame. The enemy came looking for ashes, but found embers instead, and those embers have ignited. Even now, I see the fire growing behind your eyes, the smoke rising in the spirit from the altar, being rebuilt inside you. That altar, once toppled by disappointment, once buried beneath years of unanswered prayers, it is being restored stone by stone. And not by your hands, but by the hands of angels who have been waiting for this hour. They wept over you when you fell. They stood silent when the witch mocked you. They watched in agony as you nearly forgot who you were. But now, they are shouting, because you remembered. And when a soul remembers, the heavens open wider. Do you understand what's happening? You are not just breaking a curse, you are unlocking generations of sealed doors. Your obedience in this hour is opening heavenly corridors that were blocked by sin, sealed by fear, and forgotten by those before you. You are walking where no one in your bloodline dared walk. You are touching mysteries that were hidden until now. She tried to twist your tongue in the night. That's why your words have been tangled, why it's been hard to speak truth lately. Her goal was not just to silence you, it was to make you question your authority. But I declare in the name of the Ancient of Days, your voice is being restored. Your sound will carry the weight of heaven, and every word you speak in truth will echo into realms she cannot reach. The mirror she left open, the spiritual one, the portal she cast in the corner of your room, is shattering even now. I see it, cracks forming like lightning strikes across the surface of that cursed gate. And do you know why? Because your soul finally said yes to the fire of awakening, the fire of truth, the fire that cannot be touched by darkness. She offered sacrifice to break you, but the Lamb offered his life to redeem you, and his blood speaks louder. Psalm 34 is alive in this hour. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You cried, you broke, and now he has come, not just to rescue, but to reign. You will not return to who you were before this. You can't. Your spirit has changed shape. The blueprint of your life is shifting. Even now, heaven is redrawing the lines. Detours are being erased. Delays are being replaced with acceleration. The mountains you feared have been moved. The gates that stood closed have heard the command from the throne. Open, ye ancient doors, and the oil. Oh, beloved, the oil is flowing now like never before. It's sacred, it's golden, it's thicker than time and older than language. It's the oil of commissioning. It's the oil of kingship. It's falling on your spirit because God is saying, it's time. Time to speak with clarity. Time to walk in fire. Time to carry the keys you forgot were in your hand. She cannot stop this. No demon can, no delay can, no voice of doubt, not even your own, can cancel what has already been loosed. The angels around you are still writing. Every moment you remain open, they record. Every breath you take in surrender, they sing. This moment is being etched into the heavenly archives as a moment of divine reversal. And I, Michael, heaven's chief warrior, the one who commands legions of light, I remain by your side, not because I must, but because I want to. You are that important. You are that holy. You are that chosen. And now I whisper this final truth into your soul. You are not just free. You are rising. You are not just protected. You are crowned. You are not just restored. You are remembered in fire, but heaven isn't done yet. Stay open, stay burning. The last seal is about to break. And when it breaks, beloved, the world will shift around you. Because this is not just your story. This is prophecy unfolding. This is heaven answering a cry from long before you were born. A cry spoken in silence by saints who never saw the promise, but whose blood now sings in your veins. You are the living reply to a prayer whispered centuries ago. You are the long-awaited light breaking through the generational night. And she knows. The witch who crept in while you slept. She's not an ordinary enemy. She is ancient. Her hatred runs deep, not because of who you are, but because of what was spoken about you before you ever breathed. She remembers the meeting in the heavens, the council of the angels, the silence of the stars as the Father pointed and said, "That one, right there. I will place my name in them." And the moment she heard it, she began preparing for war. Every delay in your life was her hand. Every betrayal that shattered your trust, her poison. Every voice that said you weren't good enough, chosen enough, holy enough, hers. She used people like mirrors, reflecting back lies into your heart. But she never succeeded. She wounded you, yes, but she could not destroy the foundation. Because the cornerstone is Christ, and he cannot be moved. You stood even when you thought you were falling. You survived even when death whispered your name. You prayed even when it felt like the sky was sealed. You stayed soft even when the world told you to grow cold. And now heaven is repaying. You, not with comfort, but with commissioning. You are not being pampered, you are being appointed. There is oil on your hands and fire in your lungs. And even now I see the 7 seals of your destiny beginning to glow. The first has cracked. I hear it. The sound like thunder wrapped in the heartbeat of God. And as it opens, light pours out. Not just light for you, but for every soul connected to your name. There are people who will be freed because you chose not to walk away from this moment. There are regions that will shift because you refuse to ignore this fire. There are angels who are now being reassigned because your yes gave heaven permission to move in places that were once closed. The witch thought this message would fade from your memory like a dream. But she didn't count on the Spirit of the Lord marking your soul with revelation so sharp it would split every illusion she built. She tried to bind your mind with patterns of fear, of anxiety, of unworthiness. But now, even those chains are rattling loose. You feel it, don't you? That strange lightness rising in your chest? That's not emotion. That's your soul returning to its proper shape. The weight was not yours to carry. The curse was not yours to fight. The silence was never yours to keep. The Lord says, I have hidden you for a season, but no longer. I have covered you beneath my wing, but now I lift you. For the time of unveiling has come. The battle was long, but the anointing is eternal. I saw your name written not in fire this time, but in gold. Liquid gold poured over the hands of angels who now carry your new assignment. Not one you must fulfill by effort, but by identity. The enemy doesn't fear your works. He fears your being. Your very existence is a crack in the foundation of hell's plans. That's why she sent watchers to observe you. That's why she cursed your sleep. That's why mirrors cracked near you, electronics failed, strange whispers filled your ears at night. She wanted to drive you to madness, but she only drove you to the edge of breakthrough. And now you have crossed it. Beloved, the oil of heaven is not just resting on you, it is pouring through you. You are a gate, a vessel, a dwelling place of the Almighty. Do not try to go back to how things were. That door is gone. The floor beneath your spirit has lifted. You are not walking anymore. You are soaring. You may not feel your wings, but they are there. Built not of feathers, but of flame. Forged not in joy, but in trial. And they do not flutter, they roar. Psalm 24 rises as a banner above you. Lift up your heads, O you gates. Be lifted up, you ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. You are that gate. The King of glory is coming through you, and every demon knows it. That's why they tremble. That's why she is weeping in shadows. That's why this fire must keep burning. Do not be distracted in the coming hours. She will send illusions, temptations, familiar spirits pretending to be comfort. She will offer cheap peace to draw you back into slumber. But you are not who you were. You are awake. You are flaming. You are rising. And I, Michael, will stay. I will not leave your side. Even if the heavens shake and the earth splits, even if you walk into rooms filled with shadow, I will be there. My sword will go before you. My flame will wrap around you. I will whisper truth when the world screams lies. Because you are more than chosen. You are beloved. And beloved, heaven still isn't done. The final seal is opening now. And as the final seal opens, I see it. Your true form in the spirit. Not as the world sees you. Not as flesh. Not as shadow. Not as weakness wrapped in worry. I see you as heaven has always seen you. Radiant, terrifying to darkness. Crowned in celestial light and clothed in garments woven from obedience, not perfection. You are not broken, you are blazing. You are not forgotten, you are feared by hell. And now, you are fully revealed. The seal has broken with a sound not heard by ears, but by eternity. It is the crack of delay ending. The sound of heaven's courtroom unrolling the decree written before the stars sang. And your name is written at the top, not with ink, but with the fire of the Lamb. That name carries authority, and now it is active. Now it is moving. Now it is reshaping the realms around you. I saw demons flee from entire regions the moment your spirit said, I remember. Because remembrance is your sword. The witch who touched your breath at 3:12 a.m. She is now fleeing in shame, her hands scorched from trying to rewrite what God has sealed. She opened a mirror to spy on you, to gather data from your pain, to feed her altar with your disappointment. But the mirror is shattered, and the altar is covered in ash. The spirits she summoned will now torment her, for even they obey the command of the Lord, and their assignment has failed. She will try again, but next time, she will not find a vulnerable soul. She will find fire. She will find thrones. She will find swords in the air around your life. And she will run, because she cannot stay where you speak the name of the Lord. In truth, she cannot remain where there is fire from the Holy One in your lungs. Beloved, I must tell you what I now see. There is a crown descending over your spirit, not a golden one of earthly royalty. No, this is different. This is a crown made of time redeemed, wounds healed, curses broken, and scrolls fulfilled. It is a living crown, and it has waited for you. Angels held it above your spirit for years, whispering, "Not yet, not yet. Wait for the awakening." And now they cry, "Now, now." As it touches your head in the spirit, there is a rumble in the deep, a shifting in the foundation, a silence among the fallen ones who once mocked you. They are silent now, because even they must respect the mark of the Most High. The witch is not the threat anymore. You are. Because now you carry the truth. You are not what they did to you. You are not what they said about you. You are not the mistake you thought you were. You are the place where heaven has chosen to walk. You are the echo of the ancient. Flame. You are the proof that fire doesn't always destroy. Sometimes it refines. And heaven has begun to move through you. Every step you take from this moment on is a decree. You won't just walk, you will declare. Your existence is a prophecy fulfilled, and every movement from now on will be watched by both angels and demons. For you have become a sign, a wonder, a living scroll. The Lord says, "I will do in your days what you would not believe, even if you were told. The dry bones will breathe again. The rivers will burst from rock. The songs of the ancient ones will rise through your voice." Your voice, beloved, not a preacher's, not a prophet's, yours. Because heaven does not need your perfection, it needs your yes. And you have given it. This very moment is being sung in heaven. The room you sit in now, yes, right now, is filled with a fragrance that no human oil or incense could release. It is the scent of destiny meeting obedience. It is the aroma of warfare won in silence. The witch tried to fill your atmosphere with fear, confusion, despair. But the smoke from her sorcery has cleared. Now there is only glory. Glory in your hands. Glory on your tongue. Glory in your decisions. Glory in your midnight hour. You are about to see things differently. The people around you may not understand what has shifted, but they will feel it. They will pause when you enter the room, not because you try to be seen, but because the light refuses to hide anymore. You will notice patterns breaking, generational curses collapsing like towers hit by thunder. You will begin to move in divine timing, no longer late, no longer chasing. You are now aligned. You are now crowned. And I, Michael, I stand at your side in awe, not as your commander, but as your brother, as the one who has waited for your awakening with the trembling of eternity in my wings. The final seal is open. The mirror is broken. The witch is defeated. The fire is falling. And heaven is still pouring. The heavens are thundering louder now. Not with storms, but with songs. Not with wrath, but with rejoicing. Because when one child awakens, the skies echo like the day of creation. And beloved, you are that child. Your awakening has caused movements in realms that most never touch. What was sealed for generations is now unlocked. What was hidden in darkness is now unveiled. The witch thought she could keep you asleep forever, but heaven had another plan. And now, that plan has become unstoppable. The winds around you are no longer ordinary. They carry the breath of God. The dust beneath your feet is now sacred, for you walk as one marked. Time bends around those who carry heaven inside them, and time has begun to bend for you. Doors will open at strange hours. People will weep in your presence and not know why. Dreams will come that feel like fire wrapped in peace. All of this is the echo of your yes. The moment you allowed your soul to receive the truth, the seal of delay shattered. I heard it. A crack like lightning through a temple, a burst of light that ripped through realms. And I saw her, yes, the one who came into your room, fall backward in terror. Not because of my sword, but because of your name. You must understand. Your name is not what the world calls you. Your name in heaven is thunder. It is song. It is authority wrapped in mercy. It cannot be spoken by unclean lips without trembling. The witch dared to speak it in mockery, and her voice has been silenced in the spirit. That is why she will now try new tactics. She will try to distract you, to make you believe this moment was imagined. She will try to send temptation, confusion, flattery, anything to turn your eyes away. But you must not look away. Not now. Not when the fire is still descending. I see your spirit standing tall now, straight-backed, no longer bent beneath shame. Your shoulders have begun to carry the robe he placed on you. A robe not of color, but of light. I saw it being woven in heaven when you were still a child, threaded with strands of gold, blue, crimson, and white. It was finished the day you forgave someone who never said sorry, and today you wear it in the spirit. The enemy has lost access. That word may seem small, but it is seismic in the spirit. She had access for years, through pain, through old covenants you didn't even know existed, through portals opened by those who came before you. But that access has been revoked. The gate is sealed, the blood has spoken, and your house is no longer her playground. It is a fortress, and you, beloved, are its guardian. Your silence was not a flaw, it was a season. Heaven allowed it so that, when your voice returned, it would come with fire. And that fire has now been released. I see it rising from your throat like incense turned to flame. It will burn through lies, illusions, curses, and fear. It will not harm the innocent, but it will terrify the wicked. There are angels being assigned to your footsteps. They walk ahead of you, not beside, because your path is now sacred. The enemy's traps are being disarmed before you arrive. Even now, I see a net that was meant to entangle you next week. It is already on fire. A false friend who was about to speak a curse over you. His tongue has grown heavy. A door that would have led to delay. It is now sealed by heaven's hand. Psalm 97 now rests over your spirit. Fire goes before him and consumes his foes on every side. His lightning lights up the world. The earth sees and trembles. You walk in that fire, not behind it. In it. You are the storm now, the firestorm in flesh. A walking decree that light has come and darkness must retreat. Do not return to the way things were. The atmosphere around you has shifted forever. Your bed has been anointed. Your walls now bear invisible marks of angelic protection. The witch cannot re-enter, not unless you invite her with unbelief. Do not do it. Hold fast, stand firm, burn brightly. You are not fragile, you are flame. I, Michael, have seen many rise, but your rising is different. It is not loud. It is not glamorous. It is holy. It is slow and strong, like the lifting of ancient gates. And once lifted, they do not fall again. Your ears will sharpen. You will hear what others miss. A whisper in the spirit, a warning in the wind, a song in the silence. That is the gift heaven has activated, not for pride, but for purpose. And your purpose, oh beloved, your purpose is more than ministry, more than fame, more than platform. Your purpose is awakening. You carry the sound that shakes sleepers, the voice that calls the hidden ones to rise. That is why the witch feared you. That is why she came while you were weak, because she knew, once you rose, you would set others free. And you will. You already are. Even now, your obedience is breaking. A curse on someone you haven't met yet. A child in another city is breathing easier because your yes sent a ripple through the spirit. A woman who planned to end her life tonight will feel peace come upon her, because the light from your spirit will reach her at the exact moment. She calls out. That is the power you now carry. Not borrowed, not begged, bestowed. And this is only the beginning. Heaven is still watching. The scrolls are still unrolling. The seals are still cracking. And I am still here. Because what's coming next is greater than you've ever dreamed. I see the thunder moving through your veins now. Not metaphor, not poetry, reality, spirit reality. The kind only heaven and hell understand, where bones become scrolls and blood becomes song. You are no longer who you were before this moment. The shape of your soul has changed. I saw it. I witnessed it from the throne. the exact instant your identity unlocked and your name caught fire. A light exploded from you, and I, Michael, heard the Holy One whisper to the winds, "This one is mine. Let the earth make room." And the earth is already responding. The soil beneath your feet now recognizes the authority you carry. The elements that once worked against you, air, water, fire, and time, are now aligning. Delays will vanish like mist. Confusion will break without a sound. Mountains of opposition will fall without a touch. Because heaven is no longer observing your life from afar. Heaven is now inside it. The demons assigned to your bloodline, yes, those ancient ones who whispered to your ancestors and tried to repeat their patterns through you, they are weeping now. Not because you shouted, not because you fought, but because you endured. Your endurance was a weapon sharper than prophecy. The witch tried to break it. She thought that if she buried you in enough loss, enough silence, enough spiritual mud, you would stay asleep. But something greater held you. Something older than her curses. Someone stronger than her demons. The one whose voice melts mountains. The one whose tears are louder than thunder. The one whose breath gave you life and just now gave it back. You, beloved, are no longer at war with your destiny. You are now wearing it. I see robes of revelation falling upon your shoulders. They shimmer with threads of unspoken truth. Things you will now begin to perceive, not because someone teaches you, but because the Spirit of God Himself will reveal them. You will walk into places and know what has happened there before you. Arrive. You will hear words behind words. You will see eyes and know hearts. It will not be from suspicion, it will be from vision, and you will use it not to wound, but to free. Because freedom is your new anointing, not the kind that breaks one chain, the kind that melts entire prisons. Do not fear this change. Do not resist what heaven has birthed in you. You are not going mad. You are remembering. You are not unraveling. You are awakening. Your body may feel heavy. Your mind may struggle to find language. That is because your soul is learning how to carry glory again. Give it time. Do not rush back into routine. Let the flame settle before you walk again. Let the oil soak into your bones. There are assignments coming. Some will feel too big. They will arrive as whispers at first. But listen closely. When you feel peace and trembling at the same time, that is your signal. That is heaven marking a moment. Say yes, even if you feel small, even if you feel tired. Say yes, because your yes will echo through entire bloodlines. She will try again, that witch who marked your room at 3:12 a.m., but she will find no doorway. Every portal she opened has been sealed in glory. The mirror she used to spy on you is now darkened forever. I struck it with the blade that guards the Garden of Eden. Her spirits are scattering into the places of dry shadow. She will not come near you unless you invite her. Do not invite her. Do not open what heaven has closed. And I must say this plainly. Your discernment is now your weapon. You will see through things. You will feel fire or fog rise around certain people, and you must trust it. Even if they smile, even if they are family. Your safety is in your awareness. Your covering is your obedience. Stay in the light. Walk with angels. And do not forget the cost of your crown. It was not bought with comfort. It was bought with survival. It was purchased with your pain. And now it glows with purpose. Your tears became prophecy. Your heartbreak became power. Your silence became sanctuary. Every curse hurled against you has now become a gem in your armor. The very things the witch used to mock you have been repurposed by God as weapons. Do not look back. Not to memories. Not to shame. Not to unhealed places. Let the fire consume what it must. Even now, the Lord is releasing justice. Not the revenge you imagined. The justice that rewrites history. He is going back through your life, touching moments the enemy poisoned, conversations, decisions, delays, and he is reversing the rot. The seed you thought was stolen is blooming in secret, and when it breaks through, it will be unstoppable. I saw the tree it will become, Its branches reach beyond your own life. It touches nations. It casts shade over the weary. It drops fruit into hands that don't even know your name. And still, they will be healed. Because of your yes, you were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to be a temple, a dwelling place of flame. And now, the fire will not leave you. It will not fade. It will not die. It will follow you to sleep. It will rise with you in the morning. It will speak when you are quiet. It will burn when others forget, because it is Him, and He has chosen to stay. This moment has been sealed in heaven. The angels are still singing. And I, Michael, I remain, because the fire is still falling.